at the end of the day, one thing I never take away from Jay-Z is the hustle. Because I don't know Marcy Jay-Z, but I know 560 State Jay-Z. I never seen Jay-Z broke. I never seen him not have any money. Like I said before, when I met Jay-Z, he lived in 560 State Street. He had fish tanks in the wall. He lived in a duplex. He had his in there, Beehive, Tata, Source Money, Jazz, etc. But he had a line, and he said, I came into this game 100 grand strong, 9 to be exact, from grinding G-Packs. And to have $1 billion from 100,000 to 900,000 is incredible.
Let me break this down real quick. Because what Cameron just said about Jay-Z, that might be one of the most honest and underrated gems you'll hear about Jay-Z's come up. Cam didn't sugarcoat it at all. He said, I never saw Jay-Z broke, not once. And to me, that speaks volumes, not just about Jay-Z, but about what real hustle looks like before the spotlight. See, people love to tell stories about how somebody completely came from nothing. That rags to riches narrative is cool for the movies. But what Cam is saying, Jay-Z didn't just pop out the blue as a rapper. He was already up, already living in a duplex, already had fish tanks in his wall, already living like a boss before the platinum plaques, before the brunches, before the billionaire status. That grind was real and it was quiet. And here's my opinion. A lot of people think Jay-Z's come up was all about talent and timing. Nah, it was structure. It was financial discipline. It was street smarts turned into business acumen. You don't go from $100,000 in street money to building $1 billion empire unless your mindset is different. And the fact that Cam remembers that version of Jay, that tells me that this man been on business mode from the jump. But what I also love about what Cam said is how unimpressed he is with all the fluff. The Roc Nation brunches, the symbolism, the gatekeeping. Cam ain't moved by none of that. He's not trying to play the Hollywood politics game. He respects the hustle, but he ain't begging for an invite. And honestly, that's the part I respect the most. This ain't about hating. This is about legacy, respect, and being solid whether you're up or down. Cam saw the early Jay-Z, and according to him, Jay-Z was already a hustler's blueprint way before the fame. Now I'm about to play this clip for y'all. But before I do, make sure you like, leave your comments, and subscribe. Let's get into it.
It's funny, but I get that for people who've never been in that environment or never met Jay-Z. Because Jay-Z, listen, at the end of the day, one thing I never take away from Jay-Z is the hustle. Because I don't know Marcy Jay-Z, but I know 560 State Jay-Z. I never seen Jay-Z broke. I never seen him not have any money. Like I said before, when I met Jay-Z, he lived in 560 State Street. He had fish tanks in the wall. He lived in a duplex. He had his in there, Beehive, Tata, Source Money, Jazz, etc. But at the end of the day, I know Jay-Z before he's a rapper, so to see his elevation, you know, if you sit there and listen to one of his songs, because I love Jay-Z's music, no matter how they feel about me, anything else, his music is definitely motivational, like super duper motivational. I love it. If you're a hustler, it's no way not to like what Jay-Z's talking about. But he had a line, and he said, I came into this game 100 grand strong, 9 to be exact, from grinding G-Packs. And to have $1 billion from 100,000 to 900,000 is incredible. It really is incredible. So it's a testament to his hustle. But as far as just hanging out with, we never kind of had that relationship. And I'm not going to go to a brunch to try and have that relationship there. I can just put a call.
So no to the brunch.
Did you ever see me there?
If you get invited, you're not going?
I would respectfully turn it down, but not to be rude. But it's just like, what are we getting out of it? And I'm not like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm piggybacking off Gilly Show. I'm just, you know, we had these conversations. Maybe not me and you, Sim, but it's like, what are we actually getting out of it? If we're getting something, and I don't mean money wise, I mean opportunity. I go brunch in Harlem, get 26 leave with me. Facts. Rihanna ain't leaving with me in that joint, not in front of everybody. No disrespect to Rihanna because she's married to ASAP now, but I'm just saying when she was hanging out and single and everything else, what are you doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Let me close this out with something I really want people to sit with, because what Cameron just shared about Jay-Z goes way deeper than just a cool story about the past. This is about how we frame success, how we remember legacy, and what we choose to respect in this culture. Cam said he never saw Jay-Z broke, not once. And that's not just a flex, that's a testament. We live in a time where people assume everybody starts from the bottom, but some people were already moving like CEOs before rap even came into play. Jay wasn't the typical come up out of nowhere story. He was strategic, calculated, and intentional. And for Cam to say he had fish tanks in the wall, lived in a duplex, had money, and had presence before the fame, that tells you everything about who Jay-Z was built to be. But here's the deeper part of this. Cam's not bitter. He's not clout chasing. He's not trying to jump on some Jay-Z versus whoever narrative. He's giving credit, respecting the hustle, while also saying, look, I'm not about to fake no relationship or go to no brunch or play politics just to be in the same room. Now that's powerful, because in this industry, way too many people lose themselves trying to be a part of something instead of standing on who they are. Cam is reminding us that you can give a man his flowers without needing to sit at his table. And look, this is also a lesson in perception. People think if you're not in the pictures, if you're not on stage with each other, if you're not linked up publicly, then there's beef or disrespect. But that's not the truth. Sometimes it's just two men who had different paths, different principles, and that's okay. The game is big enough for more than one king. Cam even said, Jay-Z's music is motivational. Now that means something coming from a dude like Cam, who's one of the most respected lyricists and street poets in hip hop. If Cam says that Jay-Z's music motivates him, that ain't just praise, that's peer-to-peer respect. That's saying, I see you, I know where you came from, I know how far you took it, and even if we're not close, I recognize the empire that you built. But the part that really stuck with me is when Cam said, what are we really getting out of it? Now that's what Cam said about those industry brunches, and that hit home, because I think a lot of people chase the image of success rather than substance. Cam's basically saying, I'm not showing up just to say I was there. If there's no real opportunity, no real impact, then what's the point? Jay-Z is a hustler turned mogul. His journey is one of the greatest examples of flipping street smarts into generational wealth. But Cameron is just as legendary in his own lane. He may not be at the brunches, but he's built his own legacy, stood on his own business, and stayed true to who he is. That's what I respect. That's what more artists need to hear. Now y'all tell me what y'all think about this story down below in the comment section. And make sure you like and subscribe. Peace.